just come and they keep talking about the problems in the communities. These are the problems, those are the problems, those are the problems, those are the problems. But very few times you will see very few speakers actually give out solutions. You've got a massive problem. And I was stating up to yesterday that the fitna that was there in Dar es Salaam in Africa is stuck over there. We are waiting for it to come over here. I received 2 calls, 2 communications from 2 separate individuals. Sheikh, there's ideas already over here. And I'm going to pick up this particular video that's moving around. And if you've not got it, ask your friends. It's about this individual, one of these founders of this newfound movement who wants to redefine Islam. And look at, I want to expose certain things to you. And this I'm speaking from the authority of the Mimbar, with proofs. And that's the reason you see my glasses and the phone in my hand. This particular clip is actually rejecting the arrival of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. This individual is actually wanting, Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. I'm being asked, I've been asked, requested, an indication is made to request you to, if you could please come forward a little. Every person that you give space behind, the entire thawab will be added to your name. So if you can just move forward. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. So we were talking about this particular clip, and I'm sure many of you have seen it. And because it has been moving around and circulating, it becomes important for me. It becomes almost on the state of wujub for me to come and clarify certain things. Not just clarify certain things, but expose certain things. And not just expose certain things, expose blatant lies, factual inaccuracies in the statements. And I'm going to give you the solution. One solution will come today. And I've got tonight's majlis. Today's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, no. From tomorrow to Monday night. In these 3 nights, I will again discuss one issue that has been hitting our community. That's being targeted in terms of wilayat. That's the ilm al-ghayb. One hint and solution I'm going to give you today. The second hint and solution of how to overcome this and at least stop the barrage, I will give you when I speak on that ilm al-ghayb. But listen for today. That clip, if you've not heard, hear it. Because it shakes a person to the core as to how an individual who claims himself to be the Shia of the Ahlul Bayt has the audacity and the pertinence to actually use fallacious arguments from the Quran to prove that Imam Mahdi does not exist and there is no reappearance that we're looking for. So all the intadar that you're talking is all nonsense. You're wasting your time. That every time Allahumma ajil li waliyik al-faraj you're reciting, that's all nonsense. Every Friday you come over here and you recite dua nutbah, you're wasting your time. Eid namaz, you want to come over here to recite dua nutbah, you might as well go home and have your breakfast and then come over here. It's all nonsense. The hitting is straight at the vilayat, but at the feet of the imam of the time. You take out Imam Zamana from Shiaism, nothing remains. You might as well just fold your shop and go home. Go home. This person is indicating himself as a spokesperson of Islam and is trying to prove that Imam Zamana does not exist. He picks up 2 arguments from the Quran, fallacious arguments, selective arguments. You know, you talk about selective amnesia? These selective arguments picked up to prove his point. And I'm going to prove today to you from the words that this individual has said, as to not only what he said is incorrect, but he's actually plain lying. And I will give you proofs from our community, from our Shiite faith, right now, tonight, to tell you, and then I will give you a solution. And I will keep you on alert what you need to do. Because as I was not aware, till yesterday I've been saying that it will come to our shores of Europe. I've been told by 2 individuals from different segments of the community. One of the community said members, not even from the Khoja community, saying, Sheikh, we've been hearing you. This thing has come to the shores of Europe. If it's come to the shores of Europe, you better watch out. Because the 6th Imam has said, when you find the fitna coming into your domain, take hold of your children. Khudu atfalakum, take hold of your children. Make sure they don't get carried away. Because you don't want somebody to say Imam Zamana does not exist. Well, what remains if you tell Imam Zamana does not exist? There's no Shiaism remaining. Even the Sunnis believe Imam Mahdi is coming. This person wants to say, there is no Imam Mahdi. So I want to tell you, because you will keep hearing about this individual, because if it's come over here, you'll keep hearing. So I'll give you a few salient features about it. In this entire clip, and if you've not received it, ask. It's circulating. From all I know, it's already gone halfway across the planet. Read it, listen to it, and you will see. If you've really got Wilayat in your heart, it will shake you from head to toe. I heard it last night, and I'm still, at this very point, seething inside. When somebody has the audacity to say, there is no such thing as Imam Mahdi, there is no such thing as Dhuhur, it is a baseless concept, not part of our aqaid. And in endeavoring to do so, he's gone on to state, and this is what I say, plain lies. You know, lies, there's sometimes you say, Pyarthi, it may be an inadvertence. No, this is not a case of inadvertence, because when you're trying to hit the roots of our Shiite fight, when you hit the roots of the 12th Imam, then there is no formality. It's straightforward. This person has gone on and I will explain to you a couple of his absolutely blatant, intentional, flagrant lies and inaccuracy. In trying to prove himself, he's gone on record to quote certain things that he thinks are facts. He says this has no relation to the Shiite faith. Who? Imam Mahdi. His dhuhur is of no relation to the Shiite faith. Who? Imam Mahdi al-dhuhur. And there is no such thing as intidar, there is no such thing. This comes as a consequence of what he's saying. I see he is addressing the layman, and they get carried away when somebody talks. One of the things I will tell you right now, because if it's come over here, then we need to know it. If it's being heard in Dar es Salaam, they need to counter it. This concept of Mahdiyat, I'm going to refer to one individual by the name of Ayatollah al-Udma, Sheikh Nasr Makarim al-Shirazi. Now, Sheikh Nasr Makarim al-Shirazi, I'm not sure, but he's one of the marja of our time, and all of us have heard it. In Iran and in Qum, he's as ma'roof in Qum as Bazar Imam Raza is in Mashhad, without any comparison. You know Bazar Imam Raza, everybody knows. They won't know where the grave of certain mujtahid and marja is in the haram of Imam Rada al-Islam, but they will know where is the bazaar of Imam Rada, because you want to do shopping, man. So you know that. Sheikh Nasr Makarim Shirazi is one of those maraji who's dedicated his entire life. He's right now 94 years of age, 3 years older to Ayatollah Sistani. This individual in the mid-20s became a mujtahid. Mid-20s, he became a mujtahid. Around 24 to 26. Now he's 94. That means after he's become a mujtahid, he's been studying for 70 more years. 70 years. This individual in his clip, he's narrating that to prove in his endeavor, to prove that Imam Zamana does not exist, and there is no concept of the reappearance, there is no concept of dhuhur, that Allahumma ajil li waliyik al-faraj, you're wasting your time. The dua nubba is a waste of time. In order to prove himself, he comes up with a statement that the riwayat that talk about the dhuhur of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam are not mutawatir. Now, mutawatir means from the time of the Imams, that narration has gone on and on in several directions. So if you have one tradition where the Imam says to somebody, and then you read it in, Sheikh Kulaini writes it in his book Kafi. So in his book he says, I heard it from so-and-so, I heard it from so-and-so, I heard it from so-and-so, who heard it from Imam? Now that is one continuous chain. Mutawatir means there are numerous such chains. And a tradition which is mutawatir, the ulama with blind eyes, blindfolded take it up. Because they say, with so many people, narrate so many chains, in so many directions, and there are so many people recording it, this cannot be a lie. One of the mutawatir hadith is that of Ghadir. Allama Amini in his book Al-Ghadir has dedicated 40 years of his life to his book Al-Ghadir. Similarly, this individual is saying the tradition of Imam Mahdi being alive and his reappearance is not mutawatir, so we cannot take it. Sheikh Nasr Makarim Shirazi has done one magnum opus amongst the various other things. Sheikh Nasir Makarim Shirazi is a man of, his word is law when it comes to religion in Iran. His word is word when it comes. Abba Makarim Shiraziism, Marja right now. When he says stop, the Kumbh stops. Tehran stops. That's how powerful he is. He has authored a magnum opus by the name of Tafsir Namuna. The reason I'm using the example of Tafsir Namuna is that Tafsir Namuna has been made primarily for the ordinary people. That means the Quran has been explained and the tafsir done in such simple language that ordinary people can understand. I could have even brought the example of Tafsir al-Mizan, but Mizan is of different caliber. That is for the academia. This is for the general people. Tafsir Namuna is in Farsi. 27 volumes of the tafsir of the entire Quran. This individual is saying that riwayats of Imam Mahdi reappearing are not mutawatir. I've had a look at Tafsir Namuna. In Tafsir Namuna, and I'll give you the details. I'm giving you the details with reference to tell you of certain usages that such individuals do. So that if it's on the shores of Europe and you come to hear of it, you need to be alert and you need to do as I tell you to do if you want to save your children. So I'm giving you now the proofs. In Tafsir Namuna, in volume number 7, I've brought it down so that in case I forget, or pages here and there, so I've written it down. Tafsir Namuna out of 27 volumes, in volume number 7. In volume number 7, under the tafsir of Surah Tawbah, verse number 30 to 33, 4 verses. 30, 31, 32, 33. Under these verses, volume 7 of Tafsir Namuna, the full volume, there's an abridged version also, 5 volumes. Not that one, I'm talking about the full volume. The full 27 volume, the references, volume number 7, from pages 372 to 389. 17 pages. 17 pages this Marja Taqleed has dedicated to Imam Zamana and his reappearance. And one sentence that he says under this, and I'm going to read that sentence also to you. I've taken a clip of that so that in case somebody wants to see it. This is in volume number 7, page number 375. He is now saying something that directly contradicts what this boy is saying. And this boy is spreading his words as if he is the spokesperson of Islam. And then there are simple and pure-minded people who do not have access to the resources that we have. They follow him blindfoldedly. That yes, Imam Zamana, the Aqaid is not part of our Aqidah. The Aqidah of Imam Zamana is not part of our faith. You may want to believe, you may believe, you don't want to believe, you don't believe, it will not help out. Whereas the Prophet has said, بَمَنْ مَاتَ وَلَمْ يَعْرَفْ إِمَامَ الزَّمَانِ هِي مَاتَ مِيتَةٍ جَاهِلِيَّةٍ. He dies the death of a kafir. This is where this is leading the people to. But now, he has said in this text, and those who have heard it, I've sent to some people have sent and have been passed it on, and I'm reading, and if you have not got it, this is recorded on YouTube. This is an authority I'm stating. I know I'm on record. You can return to me in YouTube afterwards. This is what Ayatollah Nasir Makarim says in opposition to this individual who says the traditions about Imam Zamana coming back is not mutawatir. So if it is not mutawatir, we cannot take the hadith. Look at what Ayatollah Nasir Makarim Marja Taqleed is saying. He is comparable to Ayatollah Sistani. He is comparable to Sayyid Hakim who passed away. He is comparable to Ayatollah Wahid Khurasan. They are the same level. He is writing, and I'm reading in Farsi so that you know this is not made up by me. It says Riwayat Marbut. Those who know Farsi will understand this. I'm reading it slowly so that those who know Farsi can understand it. Riwayat Marbut Biqiyam Mahdi Chinanast. Ke heek muhaqqiq Islami nami tabanad tawatir onra inkar konad. He's saying the traditions related to the reappearance of the Mahdi are of such a nature that no Islamic researcher will allow himself to accept that the tradition is not mutawatir. This is a Marja Taqleed who became mujtahid at the age of 24 to 26 years. 70 years after becoming a mujtahid, he's still studying. He's still writing articles. He's still giving answers to istifta'at. That means 70 years after becoming a mujtahid, he studied. That means twice the age of the entire age of the life of this individual who's writing that it is not tawatur. He has the audacity to say this is not mutawatir, whereas a Marja Taqleed is writing in his book with reference, volume 7, page number 375, that this is mutawatir. You have to remember one thing. These individuals, because of what they say and because of the lack of mudallal, dalil and evidence, they tend to use hyperboles to hyperbolize their talk. The only way they can get people to accept is when they exaggerate things. Such hadith is never found. The hadith is not mutawatir. Not a single hadith is found. No alim has mentioned. They will use hyperboles. And this individual has gone to the same extent. It's by means of the hyperboles that they hyperbolize and they make their words sound hyperbolic, which will then gain attraction from the youths and simple-minded people who don't have access to resources. But when we hear this, immediately we realize there's a problem with this. And we know where to look, and we certainly come out with what I've given to you. You know what he said in that tradition? This concept of Mahdi is just not for the Shiaism. It's also for the Sunni faith. It's one of the aqaid. The Sunnis, you know what they say? Belief in the Al-Mahdi. The individual might differ. The individual might differ. Whether it is Hasanid, whether it is Hujjat ibn al-Hasan, Muhammad ibn Hasan, or some other Muhammad ibn somebody else. But they believe the Mahdi will come. According to the Sunnis, the belief in the Mahdi is as equivalent in importance and gravity as the belief in Qiyamah. The Sunni belief, it's similar to our belief. Individual might differ. The person of Imam Zamana might differ, but the concept. And that's why I said lies, lies, to gain traction, to gain attraction. He says in this tradition, in that speech, that there is no tradition, and he says we should ask, people ask, in which book certain traditions are there. We should ask in which book the traditions are not there. Then he says, if it is in Sunan ibn Majah or Sunan ibn Dawood, why is it not there about Al-Mahdi in Bukhari? Why is it not there about Al-Mahdi in Sahih Muslim? The two most important books of the Sunni world, Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Why is it that it is not there? Why is it? They should have written it. And he says, Bukhari and Muslim write such trivia things. Why are they not writing about Al-Mahdi? Falsehood. Because Bukhari and Muslim talk about Al-Mahdi. Now I'm quoting this is a narration from a scholar of the Sunni world. He's saying, and I'm reciting in Arabic, وَفِي صَحِيحِ الْبُخَارِ وَالْمُسْلِمِ, and in Sahih Bukhari and in Sahih Muslim, and Abi Hurayra, from Abi Hurayra. They accept him, we don't accept him, you know that. في صحيح البخاري والمسلم عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قال كيف أنتم إذا نزل ابن مريم وإمامكم منكم. And what about the time when Isa ibn Maryam will come and there will be an imam from amongst you people? This is Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. في Sahih Muslim. This is another tradition. في Sahih Muslim and Jabir radiyallahu anhum. Okay, let me move this so that it becomes easier. وهناك حديث صحيح صححها الحافظ. There's a tradition about Mahdi which has been narrated by Rawahu Ahmad. You know who's Ahmad? We talked about him. Ahmad ibn Shu'aib al-Nasa'i, who's written As-Sunan al-Kubra, one of the 6 books of Sahih Sitta. It says Rawahu Ahmad. This tradition that is being narrated has been narrated by Ahmad ibn Shu'aib, Sheikh al-Nasa'i, in his book As-Sunan al-Kubra, wa Tirmidhi, and Imam Tirmidhi, wa Abu Dawood. All these are 6 books of hadith. And the Nabi qal, the Prophet has said that يملك العرب رجل من أهل بيتي يواتئ اسمه اسمي واسمي أبي اسم أبي. That there will come a time when the Imam of the time will be there. His name will be my name, and his father's name will be my father's name, or the kunyat will be my kunyat. The traditions in the books of Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari are there which actually state that Mahdi will come. This individual has gone on record to have stated that these books do not carry it. These books do not have it. This is a flagrant lie. This is a blatant lie, primarily to ensure that he attracts the attention of the people. First he says it is not mutawatir. We've proved it is mutawatir. Sheikh Abdullah Nasir Makarim says it is mutawatir. Then he says that these traditions are not there in the Sunni Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. We've proved it is there in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. But you know, one thing what these people do is when they do this hyperbole stuff, is they want to attract attention. And they use these blatant lies. Now what they're banking on is, you know what? They're banking on is that people will not research. People will not talk. You're right now on my phone. Yeah. He says there is no concept of Mahdi in Bukhari. I'm right now on a page, web page, in which there is an entire article written by a Sunni scholar. The title is Al-Mahdi Al-Muntadhar fi Sahih Al-Bukhari. The awaited Mahdi in Sahih Al-Bukhari. Yeah. Where so then when you're talking that Bukhari and Muslim don't have talks about Al-Mahdi? Is this, I might say, factually incorrect out of respect? Or should I say, this is actual lies that you're promoting? Where are you taking the people to with these lies? You don't fool us, but there are simple-minded youths who will get carried away by your talk. And they will accept this, that there is no Mahdi. And then you've got that tradition which says, Meetatil Jahiliyyah. Who is responsible for this deviation? Who's responsible for this corruption of aqaid that takes place with the youths by what you think you're promoting? And this is what I tell you, brothers and sisters. When you first listen to these, and you will keep hearing these clips coming, this is just the start. My advice to you is, look over here, the first time somebody hears, oh wow, no hadith in Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. And the words are, Bukhari and Muslim talks about such trivia stuff, such khurafat. Will they not talk about Mahdi? We just proved he talks about Mahdi. That means you've been lying to the people, my friend. For what purpose? You're lying to them. So understand this, the criteria now, the solution. Whenever you come across such traditions where you've seen these hyperbole phrases, these excessive stress, no alim, no hadith, just one hadith, oh no mutawatir, those one single, never, no, never, these words which carry impact. Don't trust. Take it to a scholar first before you accept it. Take it to the scholar and show it to them. You know why? This is a preparation for us when Imam comes. You know why? Because we got a tradition. This is a misconception in our minds that when Imam Zamana comes, as soon as you hear the name Imam Zamana has come, you're supposed to move out. That is a misconception in the minds of the people. We are not supposed to do that. Those are those 313 who know. For you and me, we're not supposed to rush out. You know why? Because tradition says, وَحَلَكَ الْمُسْتَعْجِلُونَ. Those who hasten at the first call of the Imam will become halak, will perish, will become annihilated into the fires of hell. But are we not supposed to answer the call of our Imam when he calls us? Yes. Are we, I'm reiterating it, are we not supposed to answer the call of our Imam when he calls us? Yes. But you're supposed to answer the call of the Imam who is the Imam Barhaq, not the pseudo-Imams. You've got tradition. Nearing the end of time, there will be a plethora of Imams, pseudo-Imams, who will be claiming stake to Imamat. At that point of time, you hear somebody say, I'm the Imam of the time, and he turns out to be a pseudo-Imam, and you go to him. Halaka dunya wal akhirah. And that is why it is said, halakal musta'ajilun. Those who hasten without due diligence, halaka, they will perish. They will be annihilated because they will go on the wrong path. What you and I are supposed, it's those 313 who will step out and land up before Imam Zaman. It is Idris and Khidr and Ilyas and Isa who will step up and stand up before the Imam. not for you and me. You and me are supposed to do tahqiq and find out this person who's claiming himself and staking a claim to imamat, is he a real imam or a pseudo imam? We are not obliged to answer the call of a pseudo imam. We are only obliged to answer the call of a real imam. And a real imam will only come when you hear the call of somebody saying, I'm an imam, and you exhibit due diligence. We're supposed to wait. We're supposed to do tahqiq. Once you realize tahqiq is done and this is the sahibul amr, then leave everybody. Leave wife, leave children, leave business, leave house, say I'm coming to you. But not before that. And this is what these individuals, because they know majority of the people are 9 to 5 or 9 to 9, they work businesses. They use these strong words to get the attention. And they know these people don't have time to research. They don't have resources to research. They don't have the hands to look at it. So whatever we say with emphasis will go on. Your job when you hear these things is not to accept it at face value. Let this be a training for us for Imam Zamana when he comes, that we don't rush forward. You hear the script, don't say, oh mashallah, look what he's saying. Never. No alim, no hadith. That means what he's saying is true. Take it to a scholar and say, is this correct? Ask this. This is the solution I can give you. I cannot do things for you. You have to do things yourself. And this is what I'm telling you. This is just the start of the clip. This is a concerted effort now to slowly penetrate the market of the Shiite world. So be on your alert. Take care of your children, Baba Jan. These children are our legacies for the hereafter. If they go down the drain, we go down the drain. Do we not understand that? The real solution now will come 2 days later, or probably tomorrow night, day after tomorrow night. But this is what I wanted to tell you. This is not supposed to be my lecture. He's diverting me. I wanted to talk about vilayat. Now I'm supposed to be defending the vilayat from such silly stuff. If there was something that was of substance, we can